Hey everyone, I'm Charlie and I'm joined here today by one of your new favorite artists. It is Meanjin's favorite little singer, Millie Atlas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm just absolutely like in a vibe today. We are vibing,
I love that. That is the way you have to be.
literally.
Now, you have just released your debut single and I am absolutely loving it. It's called Sucks Growing Up. How does it finally feel to have your debut single out in the world?
It's a massive relief. I have been working on this for about a year, like the track alone. So it was like a long time coming, and then now that it's finally out, I'm just like, oh, it's out, it's done. I don't. It's done.
Mhm.
All that pressure building up, I'm just like, okay, it's out now.
Mhm. I love that. Could you tell us a little bit about the story behind the song? Because I feel like it's such a universal thing. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, yes, this is going to be on repeat for me. Yeah, amazing song. Could you tell us a bit about the story?
Oh, but I'm so happy that you like it, first of all. Thank you so much. It means like the world. So really, actually bizarre point that this track came from. I've only really dived deep into my career full time as of about a year ago. I had been doing music for a long time, but was working at another job just to kind of make ends meet. And then I was like, I'm over this. I hate corporate life. Corporate life is boring and it's not for the creative minds. Those who know. And I was actually house sitting at the time and figuring out how I was going to pay my next bill because I was stressing. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't have fuel money, I don't have rent money right now coming in. I'm really on that hustle and grind. And I just sat down at like a secondhand piano they had. It was like a 8-year-old's little piano that
Mhm.
I was watching. And I just sat down and I was like, I am so stressed. And everyone says the 20s are meant to be the best years of your life. Not happening. Not happening. I don't know where those years are. I am stressed all the time about money. And I was like, you know what? I want to write about this. I feel like this is, yeah, again, like such a universal thing that everyone goes through, but no one actually speaks about it. You only see your highlights and,
Yeah.
everyone doing so well online. And you kind of sit back at home, you're like, well, I can't afford to go to the doctors this week.
Mm.
This is not great. So I just really wanted to write a song that encapsulates really all the highs and lows of growing up, especially in today's society. I think we're such a unique generation where we're going through a housing crisis, we're going through a cost of living crisis. Like we're really experiencing all of these things right now. And I just wanted a track that perfectly encapsulates that feeling. And it's also fun. It's a fun track. Like it's not sad. It's sad lyrically, but like the actual track is like kind of fun.
Mm. Absolutely. It's like, hey, we're actually not doing great, but we still have to smile.
Yeah, literally, that is
Mhm.
100% the vibe I was going for.
Yeah, and you mentioned like struggling to actually pay the bills and like how the lifestyle right now isn't really affordable and feasible for a lot of creatives, especially musicians, and then again, especially up and coming or newer musicians. I saw recently on your socials you do a lot of gigs around the place and a lot of like kind of like resident spots. And I saw you posted that you were kind of being shoved out of one of your spots for a DJ set. So you've
Yeah.
experienced firsthand a lot of how everything's changing and becoming even tougher for local artists than it really has ever been in the past like 10, 20, even 30 years. Do you have anything you'd like to say to that? How is it for you now going, okay, I have all these songs I want to release. I just released my debut song, but can I?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it is so tough. And like I was really scared going into this full time, and considering like to be an original artist, you need a following. Like you
Yeah.
can't just like go into that full time because if you've got no music behind you, it's like where are people
Hmm.
going to listen to you? So I had to kind of hustle in the cover scene for a while, which is what those kind of gigs are at the moment, because they really do pay. Which I think they also get a bad rep. Being a cover artist is for some reason stigmatized. You gotta do what you gotta do. I don't know why people like shit on cover artists. I'm like, we all start somewhere. Like, Tones and I was busking in Byron Bay for years before she made it. Now look at her. So, I don't know. It was really strange the last week, me being kind of pushed out of a residency spot, which again had such a soft spot in my heart for a DJ. I'm sure DJing has its tough moments as well, but like they were just saying it's going to be a Spotify playlist essentially, and I was like, don't really think that's going to hit the same as an acoustic musician. People love coming to listen to live music, they really do. And yeah, it's especially tough right now. Whenever I see new fresh 18-year-olds coming into the scene, I'm like, you are going to have to work so freaking hard, but if you do and you stick with it, you'll reap the rewards. But it's tough. It is so tough out there, because obviously everyone's kind of vying for the same thing as well.
And that's what makes it so tricky. Like, all of these interviews and stuff, someone mentioned to me like, oh, you're interviewing so many people, you must be making so much money. And I was like, sorry? Like, no, that's not how this works.
No. I get that all the time. I get people come up to me and they're like, so what do you do for your full-time job? And I'm like, this is my full-time job. I annoy the absolute crap out of people for work. Like, it works. It does work. I don't know why people like say, oh, be careful of annoying. Like, don't be too annoying. Annoy the absolute living hell out of everyone. Like, it works. But yeah, the music industry is tough. I played a gig actually, sorry, side note. Just tangent. I played a gig at Distillery Road Markets last Saturday. First time at the venue, awesome. Don't know if you've been there before. Really, really great venue.
No, but I've seen lineups cropping up who are performing there, and I'm like, it's just this much out of my like way, but I'll make it.
To get to, I'm not gonna lie. It's a real pain in the bum, but great venue. And they pay above board rates. They have a sound engineer. Like, everyone there gets paid so well in the music industry. I was asking them, I was like, do you mind just like, I'm so intrigued to see, we never get sound engineers at gigs anymore, like, because they're too expensive. And it was like so refreshing. The manager there is awesome. He was just like, no, I'm really wanting to like pave a new way in the music industry. And I was like,
yes.
Sorry, small tangent. I just remembered that then.
No, that's so important. Like, especially for like, they're a fairly new venue, aren't they?
Yeah. They only in July last year.
Yeah, and to actually be standing up and saying, no, I can see there's an injustice. And like, I know a lot of local people who are putting on gigs are like, I know this person's never gotten paid this much before to perform. And I'm like, are you serious? I feel like, as an audience member, that feels wrong to me.
Yeah.
Oh. But on that note then, as audience members, as fans, as people who have either seen you perform a few times before or just come across your debut release and gone, oh, actually, I'm really vibing with this. How can we then support you, whether it's financially, whether it's getting the word out? How do you suggest people can start supporting their favorite local artists?
Honestly, like, and might be a small Easter egg because I may have merch coming out in the future. I'm not sure. Small little exclusive.
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it actually looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's stuff that I would wear, because that's why I was like, I don't want to just release stuff and if like I'm not even gonna wear it. But like, buying your music or merch is 100% the like most important thing you could do to support an artist, I think. Also, physically going up to people, like, I almost get a bit emotional when someone comes up to me and is like, I really enjoyed your set, or I really, really like your music. Like, I get such a heartwarming feeling, and that's free. Like, that makes me feel 10 times better after a gig than honestly, it's just the best. It's the best feeling. Like merch, buying Apple Music, like buying the actual digital album or track. That usually goes almost 100% towards the artist.
Yeah.
So that is like the biggest thing. Because Spotify streaming, we don't get zilch. We get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who says that like that's where they make their money from, lies. Lying.
Especially for like a newer artist, like you don't see anything until you're above a certain amount of streams, which it's pathetic. It genuinely is. But also in this economy, people are struggling to pay their bills and get groceries, so they're not necessarily being able to stream, like purchase every song they listen to, so they're just streaming things for free, and it's so frustrating to like.
That's 22. Hey, it's like okay, if we can't afford to support in that way, totally get it. Because I've been there. There's been times where I can't go to things because I'm like, $10 is actually a stretch for me this week. Like,
Yeah.
as it's depressing to say that, but like that's the reality of it. So if you can only support by streaming, fantastic. Add to all the playlists, share it on your social medias. Like, it's the small things that make like massive impacts. Like I always think like if I can have one person listen to my music a day, win, make it.
Yeah.
I've succeeded in a part of my dream that I want to do. That's like, yeah. And I think because I have been in that financial struggle before, I get it. I totally relate to the not being able to support in that financial thing. But like things like social media, it's free. Just do it.
Absolutely. It's literally like I was chatting with Dublin Rose, I think about a month or so ago. Such a sweetie, and she basically said like, yeah, okay, like you might not, yeah, as you said, might not be able to go to a show or buy a piece of merch or anything. Literally like comment on the post, be like, I'm loving this track, loving what you're doing, so excited for this. Free, takes seconds, we're typing anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I literally say that when I sorry, again, tangent. I slight ADHD brain, so I kind of like work in like mysterious ways. But when I was like working on releasing this track, I was saying to my friends, I was like, I don't care, you don't have to listen to this all the time, but just comment, boost my algorithm all the time. That would be great. We're just trying to do cool things out here.
Yeah, and then like, because Instagram is evil. I'm sorry, I've said it. Don't ban me. But like, the algorithms are nasty, and the more like I study a lot of that at university, a lot of algorithms and platforms. Yeah, and they're horrible. You cannot crack them unless you're like Taylor Swift levels of following. And it's like, how then are we supposed to like exist as content creators, as like creators of art and music and like lovers of art? You can't do that on these platforms.
Literally. And like touching on that whole like content creator thing, we have to do that now. That's a part of the job. Like, we don't have a team like behind the scenes where we go to meetings and go, right, what's our strategy for the week? Like, no, you do it all yourself now. And like that in itself is another stressor that's added. Like, I don't know, personally I find it stressful to do sometimes. And when you're like, oh, I'm down content this week, I've got to set aside a filming day, an editing day, ideas making day.
Who has time for that?
And then if it only gets like 100 views, you're like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, literally, like sometimes I'll sit there and be like, oh, this is going to be such a big video. You put in the effort, you do all the editing, and then it's like 300 views, 30 likes, 2 comments, and like half of them people you begged to interact with it.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, that's the worst. That is 100% the worst. I totally feel that. I 100% feel that with you. And like no one gets it unless you're doing it. Like all my other friends who aren't in creative industries, they're just like, oh, you're posting so much. I'm like, I'm really not. I really need to be doing more at all times. Everything is content when you think about it.
Literally, it's like you got to have your phone filming everything you do and be like, I can use this. Don't let me think like that. Let me live.
Right? Let me live in the moment. I just want to be a 24-year-old. Just let me do my thing.
Absolutely. But there are some positive sides to the internet. There are some good things we can do there. And one thing I've seen you do is you do like Triple J Unearthed Tuesdays, which I want to borrow that concept because it is so fun, so cute, and such a good way of supporting local artists. Can you talk a bit about why you do this, what it really is to people who don't know?
Yeah. I genuinely just like stumbled across it because I was like, Triple J has been such a core part of Australian music for so many years. And I think especially coming off the latest Hottest 100 where there were not many Australian artists, which was a real shock to a lot of the nation.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do my bit. Like, I feel like it's really not, again, it's free. You just jump on, you listen to new music. I have so many new artists I now love just by going through random Triple J Unearthed things. So essentially what I'll do is I'll jump on maybe like Tuesday morning, do a story on Instagram being like Triple J Tuesdays, send me who you're listening to at the moment. 9 times out of 10, they're all new music for me. Like half the time I don't even know who these people are, and then I stumble across them, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Spotify, TikTok, give them all the stuff, leave a review, and I'm like, I've just done my little bit. It's a feel good for me. It's a good for them. It's like a win-win.
Yeah, and it takes you what, like less than like 5 to 10 minutes per like song, and you've already gotten this artist on like, as you said, so many different platforms. You've listened to the song, added it to your playlist. You can do that instead of doom scrolling. You can do that instead of like staring into the void, contemplating life. Like there's so many good reasons to do it.
Literally. And like honestly, it started just because like I have a lot of online friends who are musos. So I was like, I really want to show my support in the most economical and just like the best way that I could from home. Like I was not in the position to go and support them financially. And I just started leaving reviews, and then they were like, when are you releasing music? And I was like,
ooh, me.
I know, right? So it kind of ended up working also again in my favor because they wanted to then review my track. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like any bit means the world. I then also like just started like texting into the Triple J hotline to support local music. I've been on Triple J as like a caller, like supporting. I just love it. Honestly, it's such a good feeling. Like I get all giddy when I do it. I'm like, oh, I've just done a real good thing.
Yeah.
So it's great. No, so I'm glad that you like it.
Yes. And then like as well, like that's on the international scale. Then you can also scale back to like local community radio, which I know here in Meanjin we have 4ZZZ. Love you 4ZZZ. Literally like text them in and be like, I'm loving Sucks Growing Up by Millie Atlas. Oh my god. And then it's like, there you go. You sent one text.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, so they're gold. They're absolutely gold. Also, like, I'm from Cairns originally, so I have my massive, like, my whole background is pretty much in Far North Queensland. So I'm pretty fresh to the Brisbane scene. So I have a lot of my contacts still in Cairns. So I have Oz Indie Radio. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Yeah, they were like the first people to ever put me on the radio when I was under a previous name, and they're just like a gem. So I have such a soft spot for community radio. Like, it's just so wholesome. Like, they're just always the best people. They're just so nice.
Yeah, they're here to actually support you and support like the local musicians.
Yeah, literally. They're the best. They're doing God's work, honestly.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that you have a little like friends in the music scene. You spend so much time discovering new music. I would love to hand over our playlist of the week to you and let you tell us who you're loving, who you've been listening to, and who you think we should be listening to because we're going to love as well.
Oh, honestly, that's such a tough question. Okay, larger Australian music scale, Alexia, Queen. Absolutely. Loads Off is on like literally all my playlists. I'm obsessed. I've seen her live. She is just like absolutely
so
idol.
Phenomenal.
She's so talented. Like I just want to like sit in her brain and just like watch everything happen. slightly smaller local Brisbane scene. Stell is about to come out with a new single, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to a show that she's hosting April 10th, I think.
Nice and soon.
So soon. That's $10 if you want to go. And yeah, cheap. And then Chloe Jett, Something Ain't Working. Love that. Also, I just love Juno. I'm the biggest Juno stan.
I can see that on your socials. I love it so much.
Oh, I'm such a big Juno stan. Like, they are the nicest people and they make such good music. Like, so good. I saw them at Big Sound.
Yes.
And it was epic. It was absolutely epic. Like, if I could recommend anyone, it's Juno. They're the best. That. Do you listen to them?
Yeah, I saw them at Big Sound as well, and it was just, I was like front row, and I was just like,
were you there during the bleach bottle one?
No, I went to the one in the Brunswick Street Mall. It was so good. It was packed.
Oh yeah, they will sell out their headline show in a couple of months or next month, I think.
Yeah, April. Yeah,
I'm going to that as well. Yeah, they're epic. They're so good.
I love that. That is such like an amazing crop of like local artists, especially the pop girlies. We love the pop girlies so much.
More women in music.
One thing that gets on my nerves so much is like, you know, so many people who love like your big international acts, and like I can't speak. I'm the world's biggest Taylor Swift fan. But also, like, I can sit back and acknowledge we have music coming out of, like, local Australian scenes, like, local pop artists releasing songs that are on the same tier as Taylor Swift's music, if not even better. Like, we have some local acts, like Alexia with Clothes Off. I think that is better than half of anything that charted last year. Except no one in the broader, like, I don't listen to Australian music is going to acknowledge that fact. And it hurts.
It hurts, hey. Like, you think, there's a small part that's like, oh my God, I found this absolute gem. Like, I'm a part of that smaller minority. But then you're also like, I just want the best for them. Like, I just want to be here, like, see them do, like, incredible things. And, like, we all know Alexia's going to be doing that. Like, she's not here to muck around. She's here to absolutely slay. But no, I totally agree. She's up there with Chapel for me. Like, I just like, they're icons.
I can confidently say I have never listened with intent to a Chapel Roan song. I have, though, listened with intent to every single Alexia song.
Fair. No, I understand that. Have you listened to Chapel's album?
Honestly, I never have. People look at me like that. I say I listen to maybe 5 international acts.
No way.
Maybe that's even a stretch. Like, I genuinely have my entire listening is fulfilled by Australian artists, and it is the best thing ever.
God bless your soul. Love that. I love you. Oh my God, you do not hear that often.
I know, and it makes me feel like I'm the weird one for listening to good music.
No, not weird. Absolute elite human. Literally though, I am shocked though that you haven't heard Chapel's album.
I mean, I'm on social media,
so like absolutely top tier. You have to listen to that.
I think I can actually say I probably heard every song off of that album through covers from local artists.
Yeah, okay.
Like, Worm Girls have been throwing out covers everywhere. Oh God, Asha Jeffries has one of the songs in her sets as a cover song. Kat Edwards did one of her covers on tour with Conan Gray. Like, that's the only way I know international music is because of local artists doing covers.
Honestly, fair. That's like the best of both worlds though. Supporting local Australian music, but also hearing international music.
That's like my other stance there. Bring back Australians doing Lacquer versions.
Oh,
I said it, I'm
100%.
sorry.
No, 100%. 100%. Like a Virgin Friday is one of my favorite days, but like
Mhm.
there are so many international acts now where I'm just like,
Mhm.
I feel like it's lost its niche.
Yeah. And especially like
That way.
you mentioned the hottest 100. I'm pretty certain the two highest scoring, yeah. Oh, two of the highest scoring Australian songs were Royal Otis's Like a Version, the highest scoring Australian song, which was at number 2, and then G Flip at number 9 with their cover of Cruel Summer. We haven't had any of those this year.
No.
How are our Aussie acts if the only way they're going to get in the hottest 100 top 10 is with like international covers? Where can they do that if not Triple J's Like a Version?
I know. Honestly, like it's so disappointing when you do like have that realization of like, shit,
Yeah.
this is not a great position for our industry to be in. And I can see where they're coming from. They're wanting to get the fresh acts in that have just come
Oh,
off
yeah.
laneway stage. Everyone's raving about them.
Yeah,
But
and like
like,
mainstream appeal.
oh, 100%, 100%.
Mm.
Like you've got to support your grassroots acts. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're not going to have anything for the future.
Absolutely. And oh, I don't know, I could talk about it for hours
Okay.
upon hours,
Okay.
but oh, it
My
makes my
friends get
blood
so
boil.
over me whenever they're like, "Oh my god, Triple J's so cool still," and I'm like, "It is, but there's a deeper level."
It's like, do you actually know how much Australian content you're listening to?
Yeah,
Ugh.
literally. Oh my god, I'm so glad that it's so refreshing to have someone
Mhm.
else who has similar thoughts. I'm like, oh, yay.
It's okay, I'm screaming this into the void otherwise because everyone around me is like, okay, yep.
Yep, I've educated my partner so much on the
Mhm.
Australian music scene since I've been with him because he's from the UK, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, you just don't get it. You don't get it. It needs to make a comeback. It needs to
Mhm.
start again. Like, and he's like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And I'm like, it is. It's very interesting.
Yeah. But there will be a turning point. I'm manifesting it. I can see it. And it's going to be a turning point thanks to the people who are putting in the hard work in the background. Like you are with your Triple J Unearthed reviews and finding local acts. Like everyone who's listening to this interview now and who's going to go, actually, yeah, I need to go add Millie Atlas to my playlist. Go like follow her on Spotify. People who are actually engaging with the local scene are going to be the ones to save it. I can feel it. It just needs to happen soon.
Yeah, honestly. And like, considering like the festival scene has pretty much officially died, like I would say it's pretty much dead. The
Yeah.
last festival I went to was Splendor in the Mud, I would say.
Yep.
So 2022.
Yeah, I literally like when I finished high school, I said, right now, I don't really want to spend my money on a formal ticket. I'd rather save that money, put it towards like a VIP Splendor in the Grass ticket for next year. And that next year didn't happen.
Oh, so disappointing.
That's how fast though. Like 6 months prior, everything was looking great. And then the
Yep.
lineup's announced and then tickets go on sale and
Yeah, and honestly, like there's such milestones for Aussie artists to be able to be like, I want to play Splendor, I want to play Baked in the Grass, I want to play, Laneway, whatever. And now that they just don't even exist, like where do we go from here?
Exactly. I found on Marketplace someone was getting rid of a Splendor in the Grass 2017 hoodie. Now, 2017, I would have been not that old. And I would have, yeah, literally been a baby. Yeah,
I would have been 16.
I would have been like 12.
Oh my
And
god.
I found the shirt and I was reading the back and I was like, oh my god, there's like Mallrat, Greta Ray, Alice Ivy, all these local acts who are still absolutely killing it right now. But that's because they had that platform 8 years. Oh god, that's a terrifying thought. But they had that platform.
8 years?
They had that platform 8 years ago to stand up and do this. What about the acts who are where they are now?
Yeah.
Like, how are those acts supposed to perform at Splendor if there is no Mm.
right? Right? And like now it's kind of just big sound.
Yeah,
And
which is
now it's
so
so
hard to crack
competitive.
into.
So competitive. Also, artists don't get paid to be there. It's a
Yeah,
privilege.
you earn it. It's
Yeah.
hmm
Which I learned for the first time last year when I went as a guest, as I had friends who are artists, and I was like, I'm so curious. Like, do you mind? And
yeah,
they're like, oh, no, this is all out of your own pocket.
it's
You,
exposure.
it's exposure, and I get it,
Hmm
but it's like, it's just there's no funding. Like, again,
Yeah.
I could talk about finance in music for ages. Like, that's why I like to expose like is actually in the
Mm.
behind the scenes stuff, like what goes into a release. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think people realize how expensive that is in itself. Like, are
yeah.
you familiar with how much a release would cost?
No, it's genuinely
No?
content like yours that I was like, oh, damn, okay. Because
Yeah,
in the fan viewpoint, you genuinely have no clue.
no, and like it's so taboo to speak about. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why people are like, oh no, my prices are, I don't speak about them online. It's like, well, how are the younger generations gonna know?
Yeah.
Like,
How are people supposed to learn? But another thing I've stumbled upon online is people are shocked that musicians have jobs. Like someone was like, Stella Donnelly works in a cafe? What? And I'm like, yeah, you don't get it.
yeah, yeah, and like the thing is, you can't be doing cover music forever. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, you do get sick of playing Riptide for the 56th time. Like,
Don't mention Riptide. Oh my god.
right? It's either that, Wonderwall. What else do I get now? Dance Monkey. Any
Mhm.
like, I get them asked on the daily for me. But like, yeah, I saw like Susie's also one of my other favorite Australian
Yes.
acts.
Oh,
Now,
love her.
I've been a fan of hers since like her first EP came out.
Mhm.
She was doing like cafe work on TikTok, and I was like,
Yeah.
why is this not normalized? Like,
Yeah.
it's it's like a superhero. Like, by day I'm
Hannah
waitress,
Montana.
by night, yeah, literally.
Yes. Yeah, and it's like you're either like a pro content creator like Peach PRC who can make money off of doing
Yeah,
like stuff online, but if you don't crack into that tiny little margin, you have to have a day job. You're working hospitality or corporate, and it's
yeah.
heartbreaking, honestly, to go out and have your favorite artist behind the bar, like serving you a
Yeah.
drink. It feels wrong as a
It
fan.
feels so wrong. It would feel like if I walked up to a cafe and like even hoped, like she literally apparently lives around the corner from me, and I'm like,
Yes.
I'm waiting to stumble into her on like my hot girl work one day. But
Oh, Hope is a sweetie.
if she served me a coffee, I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
this is not right.
Yeah.
I have you on my playlist. Like, no.
Literally, like that's a great example. She literally works at a bar in the valley, and I go there and I'd be like, you are my top streamed artist. What is happening?
Wild. That's wild. That's like it doesn't fit the jigsaw puzzle in your brain.
This is a pop star. Yeah.
Right? Right? You're famous.
Yes.
You have like just that. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
you
I
were in the
totally-
hottest 100. What are you doing here?
Yes, yes. Oh my god, yes.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. Again, I could talk about this stuff for ages. Like,
Literally.
so like, thank you so much for your it's so refreshing
Absolutely.
to speak to someone who has like similar outlooks on this stuff. And I guess like 'cause you're in it. Like
Yeah.
you're not an artist, but like you're in it. You're in
Everything
the
I'm doing is, yeah, it's unpaid groundwork to support the music industry, which is bonkers and really time consuming and horrible while I'm trying to like, people are trying to study, people are trying to work. But if I can support this industry, if I can support people like you who are releasing music, putting out music, doing shows, I will do everything I can because the industry needs it. And plus, your music is great. People need to hear this stuff.
Aw, thanks. Thanks. No, honestly, like you're a blessing that I think more people need to hear about, and like you seriously are doing God's work. Like I'm not even religious, and I think that like it is though. Like there's just like half the time when artists release stuff, and like for myself, I'm self-managed. Like I have to
Yeah.
really look for people like yourself that like advertise or promote local music, or is that a fee that I can afford right now, or are they too high? I need a manager to approach them or blah, 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 blah. It's like, no,
Yeah.
when I just find people like you and like I actually thoroughly enjoy your content. Like
Thank
it is
you.
so good. I love it. I love it. I'm just like, I eat it all up. And like, it makes me want
Mm.
to talk to you. It's
I
not
love
just
that
like,
so much.
not just another like,
Mm.
oh, I'm just gonna sit here and talk about the song, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, it's like genuine like connections over the shared interests. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
No.